Hello and welcome to this new topic, compliance training and policy interpretation in this course, AI for risk management and compliance excellence, and the first lecture of that. So in this section, we will give you some good idea of how can you use AI for excellence in compliance training and policy interpretation. And we will begin by taking a look at one way to do that is to use chatbots to train as well as to answer compliance queries. So how do you think you can use chatbots for compliance queries and personalize employee training and help interpret policies and procedures in simple language? Any thoughts? Using chatbots for compliance transforms how employees learn, access, and interpret policies, and that makes training personalized. That can make training personalized, always available and easier to understand. Now, these AI-powered assistants can answer compliance questions in real time. Real time is the key word. Simplify policy language, track user behavior, and adapt content to each employee's roles and risk exposure. So there can be a lot more personalized training using these chatbots. Now, before we take a look at, let's understand why to use chatbots for compliance training and support in some more detail. The traditional training is a one size fits all learning management system modules, LMS modules, whereas chatbot enabled training personalizes responses by role, locations, and risk. The traditional training is static, periodic, whereas chatbot enabled training is online, on demand, micro learning, continuous learning. Also, the traditional method of training is where employees struggle to interpret policies. And here in chatbot enabled training, you have simplified language and conversational answers. And in the traditional training, the burden is on HR or on compliance officers to train. Whereas once you train these chatbots, you have a 24/7 instant support for all policy questions. So that makes a good case of why to use chatbots for compliance training and support. So what are the key use cases for compliance chatbots to be used? So we can use it for policy Q&A, answering the questions and answers like it can help employees answer, can I accept a gift from a supplier? Answer such simple, straightforward questions. Also, it can be used for role-based training, like because it can tailor content for finance versus procurement, for example. It can also be it is useful for policy interpretation because it simplifies legal jargon into clear actions and explanation. It is a good refresher nudge. It can be used for refresher nudges in training because you can send periodic knowledge quizzes or updates to the people who have enrolled for such things. Also, this use cases is one of the use cases is to provide guidance which is scenario based. And here you could go and ask the chatbot, I am being pressured by a vendor, what should I do? So you can get answers specific to your scenario. And you can also track and compliance audit can be done by tracking them. You can log queries, flag repeated confusion points, etc., etc. So these are some of the key use cases for using compliance chatbots. Right. So how does the chatbot work? How does it help you use do this personalized training to your employees? Let's take a look at that. So first thing you need to do is to upload documents. Upload documents like code of conduct, anti-bribery policy, data protection policy, etc. And then the second thing would be to use text chunking and embedding through OpenAI, Cohere, Azure OpenAI to make them retrievable. So chunk, embed, and retrieve is the thing that you need to keep in mind. And you also need to categorize your content by department, regulations like GDPR, FCPA, SOX, privacy policy like policy area like privacy, gifts, conflicts. And there are tools that you can use like LangChain, Haystack, Pinecone, and VV8. So using these tools and these methods, you need to ingest and structure your policy and training content. Then you build the chatbot interface. Now, how do you build the chatbot interface? So there are platforms. You can use Microsoft Teams and Slack, uh, which can embed chatbots in existing internal tools. Then there are web portals where you can use React, Streamlit, or Bubble for as a UI. And optionally, you can use voice platforms that can add voice interface with Twilio or Alexa SDK. Right. So remember to use retrieval augmented generation so that chatbots cite official policy text while answering. So that's how you need to build the chatbot interface. Add personalization capabilities and you can do that by using employee metadata like role, whether it's an HR, sales, or finance role, location, whether it's a country, specific country, so that you can apply country level policies. Then risk profile based on the past training performance or function and seniority. Executives may face different scenario based on their seniority. Then you need to let chatbot adapt, and you do that by training reminders based on the behavior, examples relevant to a user's job, and simpler explanation for non-legal staff. So you add personalization capabilities based on these things. Then you enable natural language understanding, and there you use AI and NLP to interpret couple of things like intent. Uh, do I need approval to accept a client lunch? So you also interpret the intent. Second, sentiment, whether you detect confusion, urgency, and the context. If the user says, "Last week I approved the PO, was it compliant?" So you can also get the context, and in that context, the chatbot can answer. So you need to enable this NLU for this purpose. Now, what are the libraries you can use for this purpose? You can use OpenAI, uh, GPT-4, Hugging Face Transformers, Dialogflow, Rasa, Microsoft Bot Framework. So these are some of the libraries that you can use to enable NLU. Then you are ready to track usage, knowledge gaps, and risk hotspots. So there you generate analytics on commonly asked questions, policies that cause confusion, departments with low engagement, and employees skipping mandatory training. And you flag high-risk departments, non-compliance in decision making, and topics needing better policy clarity. So like this, you track usage, knowledge gaps, and risk hotspots. Let's take a look at an example of a conversation with a chatbot of an employee. The employee says, "Can I give a gift to a client during the holidays?" And the compliance chatbot will answer, "As per the gift policy, you can offer gifts under $2,000 as long as they are not cash or cash equivalents and are recorded in the gift register. Need help in filling the form?" Then employee responds, "What if it's a government official?" Right? So it's a context that is being asked. In this context, what happens? And the chatbot answers, "Gifts to government officials are prohibited under our anti-bribery policy. Offering such gifts may violate anti-corruption laws like the FCPA or Prevention of Corruption Act, etc., etc. So like this, a conversation goes and an employee gets a very clear direction. And it also can offer you full view policy and report planned gift for pre-approval, right? So that's how a conversation can go. There are few advanced features that are optionally you can use. You can use feedback loops to improve the bot. And the benefit of that is that you can incorporate new questions or policy update. You can do integration with mobile and voice that makes training accessible on the go. You can do micro learning quiz modes. That's a feature available. You can serve 2-3 questions weekly for reinforcement. You also have the option of multi-language support, and there you can localize policy in case of global teams. And you can also handle confidential queries that can allow that is allowed by asking anonymous questions to encourage honesty, right? So that's how those are the advanced features that you can use optionally. What are the benefits to an organization of using these chatbots for compliance training and queries being answered? So first, you have more engaged employees, and that can make the employee policies more understandable and not intimidating. It reduces the burden on the compliance team as bot handles common repetitive queries. You also have better audit trails because the you can have the log policy query. You can log policy queries and responses. Also, there is lower training fatigue because you are doing personalized, just-in-time learning, and there is an early detection of confusion or race before the violations happen. So there are a lot of benefits to an organization of using these chatbots. So what are the tools and stack for implementation? You have many tools you can use at the bot platform level. You can use Microsoft Bot Framework, Rasa, Dialogflow, BotPress. For NLP engine, you can use OpenAI GPT, Azure OpenAI, Cohere, Hugging Face Transformers. For vector database, you can use Pinecone, Fies, VBA, ChromaDB. And for UI integration, you can use Teams, Slack, web portals, and WhatsApp. And for analytics, you can use Power BI, Grafana, Segment, and Amplitude. So layer by layer, these are the various tools that you can look at. So what do we do next? So we will look at another part of compliance training and policy interpretation of using adaptive learning platform for scenario-based training. And we will take a look at how can you use those then to personalize employee training and interpret policies and procedures in simple language. So thank you so much for watching this first compliance training and policy interpretation lecture in this course, AI for Risk Management and Compliance Excellence. I hope you continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.